What is going on, everyone? Is the Digital Cypha Podcast coming at you with another show. It is Saturday, December 11th. And we got some news for you guys. So if you like what you hear, definitely subscribe. We're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. But, with you as a fans, we just want to cater to you guys, give you guys some news, give you guys some updates. How we felt about the game show, of course. If you read the title, you definitely know, courtesy of the Don CJG himself. But, again, welcome to the Digital Cypha Podcast. I am joined by Dio Zales. What's up, Dio?
Morning.
Morning. And I'm joined by the Don CJG. What's going on, Don?
Good afternoon.
Good evening, good night. How you guys doing?
Well, not too bad. Finished Halo Infinite this week. Had a lot of fun with that. Definitely gonna get into that today. That's probably the highlight of the week for me.
I was thinking that game was gonna be a long campaign, and you finished that already. I was trying to take my time, inch by inch. But man, you already beat that. How much? Like 8 hours?
No, it was definitely more than 8 hours. But I mean, if I just focus on the campaign itself, maybe it would have been 8 hours. But I definitely like No Life that I was playing it since the day it came out, all day, each day.
You skip work.
So yeah. It was definitely really good. I think a lot of people who haven't played it yet are gonna be pleasantly surprised. And it's screaming for co-op. I can't wait for co-op.
Oh man, that would be so cool. Don CJG, holla at me.
Yeah, same thing, man. It's my last week off work, so I spent all the time waiting for Infinite. And I made sure to blast through that game as soon as I could.
Wow.
I did all the weekly challenges multiplayer on Tuesday. I just got them all out of the way in like 6 hours. I was like, cool. Wednesday's clear, so I think I must stayed up till 2 a.m. First 2 days Infinite came out to beat the game.
Word.
Yeah, so it's been good, man. It's been a good time.
So, I mean, before we get into the crazy stuff, because we got the goods, the bads, the uglies, and the Game Award show, you know what I'm saying? So, before we get into all of that, first and foremost, I guess before we get into Halo, what you're seeing right now is the Matrix is the game that's on PS5 and Xbox. They announced it during the Game Awards. It's pretty cool. It's
my download just finished.
It has a little bit of comedy to it. You can feel the metaverse in the game, even though you're not sucked into it. But it's mainly to highlight Unreal Engine 5 and how they utilize Unreal Engine 5 to replicate the Matrix. So they merged Matrix 1 with whatever's coming out in the future. I guess December 21st, that's when the Matrix movie is coming out. So it is definitely cool. But anyways, getting back, so both of y'all beat Halo, right? Without spoiling the game, how did y'all feel with the length, with the experience, with the weapons, with the dialogue between enemies and you as Master Chief? I mean, talk to me. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
Ganji go first because he hit it on Legendary.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I did normal. Yeah.
Okay.
I was more casual play.
Yeah, no, I want to say I really enjoyed it, man. I think looking at last Halo 4, Halo 5, it's been a rocky road for 343, right? It's been like Halo 4's campaign was good if you'd read a bunch of the extended universe stuff. If you hadn't, like me at the time, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And 5 was just not like it was bad, but it just wasn't. It was different. So coming into Infinite, right? I'm on this like, I want this to be a good game. I'm clawing for it, right? I want it. So I was pleasantly surprised by it, man. It really lived up to the expectation of what I hoped it would be. And it just feels good. I remember when I heard Infinite was going to be an open world. I was very skeptical. I was
Yeah.
like, most kid, I was like, "Ugh, I don't know how I feel about this, but I can tell you now, the execution of it is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like Ubisoft chore collector. Take off this
I
and this
heard
and
that.
this. Nah,
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it just like everything feels natural. Like, I can go over here, do this, or I can go over here, or I just do none of it, and it's completely fine,
True.
Mm.
right? And I really enjoyed it, and the story, the characters, it's all good, man. It's all good. I think I've said this before. I feel like if you're going in without any prior knowledge of the games, there's definitely context you might be missing to some extent. But there is a good story within Infinite without knowing that too.
Gotcha. Dio, holla.
I totally agree with that. I feel like it was almost like I was completely Master Chief, right? Like he was floating in space, frozen in time, and that was me because I haven't played since Halo 3. So it was like, oh, I'm coming home, and it really felt that way. Like I had no idea what happened in Halo 4 or 5. You hear tidbits from the internet because everyone has to get their opinion on everything.
Gotcha.
But honestly, playing this, the story felt good. Not even knowing 4 and 5. If anything, it makes me want to go back and play 4 and 5. As much as people might be like, oh, they're not that good, or oh, you don't need to. Like, I want to know what happened. Like, because like you don't need it, but there's so much context that I'm missing that it's gonna feel good to know it. Not that like I have to know it. And even Halo Wars, I'm like, I gotta get into Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. Like, even though RTS games are not really my thing anymore, like it's really just pulling me to that stuff now because I really gotta know everything that happened with Cortana.
Bro, if you play Halo Wars on easy, you'll get the concept, and there are specific lore items or collectibles in the game that will flesh out certain things for you. But not to mention the cinematics in the game is also, I think, outside of like Age Empires and things of that nature, Halo Wars to me kind of brought me to really respect RTSs from a console perspective. So for you, if you feel like, hey, I'm not really an RTS guy, but I want to learn this, I want to get into the lore of Halo, I think you may end up enjoying the RTS mainly for the mind challenge that it provides. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be cool. But definitely let me know, man. I'll join ship and be that wingman,
Oh, they have co-op in it too?
Yeah, there's co-ops.
Oh, wow. I thought it was just PvP.
It's simulation, so it's simulated. What is it called? Skirmish. It's skirmish. So you have 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and then there's maps 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, where you have the more people, like when you do 3v3, it's a bigger map. So I'll be on the same side with you, but then as I'm collecting resources, I can give you resources to help build your base as I'm trying to decimate enemies at the same time, kind of sort of. So it's pretty cool. And then they have, of course, PvP, where you play with people around the world, and stuff like that. But the best thing is jumping into the game, doing skirmish, all AIs, put them on easy, because when they're on easy, they take their time, bro. They're like, bro, it's like they spend like 10 minutes trying to bring one guy out to kill you. You know what I'm saying? While you're over there getting things, preparing things, destroying bases and building your own base on top of that. So it gives you time to strategize how you would want to play. So it's pretty cool. But when you play Halo Wars 1, don't keep Halo Wars 1 as your format, because when you go to Halo Wars 2, it switches everything up. Like, it's gonna become, it's like the controls, the people, what they do.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference. Yeah.
It's like they said Halo Wars out the window, into the trash. Halo Wars 2, brand new. This is where we're going now. I mean, they're both.
Because Halo Wars in the timeline, the first one takes place before all the games, right? And then Halo Wars 2 takes place after like 4 or 5.
I don't know about that one.
I think it's around the time of 5.
Okay.
Just after that.
Because even the AI is different. The AI is not even the same. AI is not Cortana, and it's not the one that you play in Infinite. It's a completely different AI. Actually, it's the same AI for Halo Wars 1. But because what happens, I think, in the beginning of the second one, you wake up from cryo sleep, so that AI is
Yeah.
still with you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But yeah, man, definitely try that out. I look forward to helping you, or taking you out, just depending on your mood, of course.
I guess without spoiling anything, Don, what would you think was the most satisfying thing in Halo Infinite?
Infinite, most satisfying thing, man. Um, without spoiling it, I would
Yeah.
say a lot of the stuff near the end.
Okay.
I want to say it did a good job at tying up some loose ends and rectifying some things that people didn't quite like from 4 and 5.
Okay.
I would
For-
say, and the legendary scene ending. It's just
I think I definitely know what you're talking about, because that was really great for me too. But since I didn't play 4 and 5, I think it didn't hit me exactly like you. I think for me it was just being able to explore. Like it's so funny. Like this is what Halo 1 Combat Evolved felt like for me when I was a kid. But I didn't realize I didn't have all these things going on in the game.
Yeah.
It felt like I was doing this exploring as a kid, but now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, like I can really just do whatever. That grapple hook is probably like the single best thing in the whole game.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Oh, 100%. I remember when that got leaked, and people were like, grapple hooks in Halo? What? It was outrage. It's literally like the greatest thing.
But yeah,
So damn good.
Yeah, that's especially when people shooting at you from the valley, like you're down there and they're up there, and you can just grapple your way up and then take them out. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, honestly, man, like that world is. So I went through yesterday and picked up all the audio logs and collectibles and whatnot.
Nice.
I spent all of yesterday doing that.
Bruh.
And when you're doing that, you get to see some of these really cool locations, man, and it's.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's the thing that they hinted at way in the beginning, before even the whole Craig thing, was that they specialized a lot in the atmospheric and sky domes and sceneries and landscapes. Like in Unreal, they talk about how you can do like the further you're away from something, those assets would disappear and stuff like that. So they really honed in on how they want you to experience everything without bottlenecking the game. You know what I'm saying? The memory and everything like that. So to see that come true, and nobody has said so far, oh, the game has been downgraded. Like how they do with EA and the and Call of Duty and Battlefield, like, oh, it should look beautiful.
The Watchdog effect.
The Watchdog effect, the Unity. It's crazy, and it's cool that they stay true to their marketing and presentation. Definitely. So,
what's even crazy as well, like it runs at 120 in campaign.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I didn't know it until I started hearing like tech reviews. I was like, what?
Did you play?
The fact you can do that campaign open world 120, insane.
Was there a setting for like performance or quality?
Yeah.
I didn't even wait for that. I just played straight. Yeah.
It's just in there. It's hidden in the menus. So I played multiplayer on performance 120, but I played 60 for the campaigns because that's one of the max out the visuals. But man,
okay,
it's good.
Well, next year we gotta stream some multiplayer in campaign, yo. Definitely. That's gonna be. Hopefully by then we should have a roadmap, because I'm assuming since you guys beat it, there's more coming, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was.
Because I haven't beaten it yet, so I don't know. I haven't beaten it.
It's a funny story about that. I was speaking to one of the devs, who works on the world team. Yeah, and he was saying that got leaked before the internal team even knew about it.
Oh wow.
So that's quite funny.
All right, should we talk about the leak?
I mean,
or is it well known?
I don't think it's well known enough, but the thing is, like, I feel like the title of it and the context of it could be a bit spoilery. So.
Got you. Let them finish the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you see that after credit cutscene, it's pretty big.
Oh yeah.
And on Legendary, you get a bit more context. You get voiceover. Yeah, you get voiceover on that final scene. It's like, oh.
Now the
Super
game.
hype.
the game has been made in normal. You know, they made it for normal, and then I guess
They make it for heroic.
Based on what I heard, that it was built on normal. So
Maybe.
if that's the case, legendary has got to be crazy, huh?
I'll tell you, the boss fights are a pain. I'll tell you that.
I mean, I would assume so. That means you gotta know what you getting into even before you
Mhm.
start playing this game. Yeah, pretty much.
It is. It can be really daunting at times.
I think that's always been the case with Halo games, no? Right? Like, I mean, especially like Halo 2. I remember Halo 2 just being crazy
yeah,
on
Halo 2 is
Legendary.
notorious for it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Whew. That's a lot of Halo.
Yeah, but
So this past week, well, actually, yeah, during this past week, the Game Awards was, they came out, they showed their stuff, and
Yep.
people got excited, people got shafted, people, felt relieved, while others feel like their games wasn't represented well. I mean, it's an every year situation. What was the top 5 to 6 games you guys saw that you enjoyed, looking at during the presentation?
For like new releases.
Yeah, releases, or maybe additions to game that we knew that was coming out, perhaps.
Okay.
I'll go with you down, Dio.
Okay. So you said top 5?
Yeah, top 5, 6, doesn't matter.
Okay. This is gonna sound so like typical, but my number 1 was that Star Wars Eclipse.
Oh man,
It looks so good. I know it's just a
did.
movie scene, but it looks so good.
It did. I was afraid that it was I was afraid it was the Star Wars the Republic that was being managed by PlayStation, Sony. I was like, please don't let it be that. Please don't let it be that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was, right, then it would be like, okay, we have to wait 2 to 3 years before it comes to Xbox and PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't, and I'm happy because now, we can dive into it. But it was definitely looking good. I agree.
Yeah, the first thing I was thinking when I saw that, I was like, oh, is this like the Jedi: The Fallen Order, like part 2? And then I'm like, then I see Yoda. I'm like, oh, it's not.
Yeah.
This is something new.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm wondering, because like a Star Wars nerd, I'm thinking like this might, I don't know for sure, but I think we might see Darth Plagueis in this, and I'm hoping we do, because that's the Emperor's master.
Oh, that's the
Awesome, might
first.
be a Sith.
That's the first one for Dark Side, right?
It's his master. It's not like the first Sith, but like it's his master. He recognized that. Wow. Brain fart. I can't think of his name, but he recognized that the Emperor was very, very strong with the dark side without even being trained at all yet. So
Oh wow.
I think it's gonna touch on him. I'm hoping it will. So
was
because it's
Plagueis
Yoda there.
the guy from the last movie they did?
No, that guy, man, what was his name? I those 3 movies like in my head are not like they don't exist.
Oh man, that's sad, bro. That's sad. It's like you say hi. He's like, who are you again? We just met like 5 minutes ago. Like, what's up?
I'm like that guy in the meme where the guy's like looking back at the other girl while he's walking with his girlfriend. Like those 3 movies are that girl, and like anything else is like what I'm looking at. I'm like not looking at that at all.
Yeah, that's
I watched
messed
the
up.
movies like maybe 2 times each, and that was enough for me.
Yeah. We can have a long conversation about those 2 movies, and it wouldn't matter.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, we understood why they exist. We just don't understand why it had to make it existent. So
This direction, yeah.
exactly. But before you move forward, in Eclipse, they were doing their taquito drums going off and everything, right? And then they stopped, and then the guy came out of this black mossy thing, right? Was that a Sith?
Yep. I'm hoping it is, but I don't know for sure, right? Because we didn't get to see any details. We didn't see a saber. We didn't see his eyes. Or we could just assume that he may be related to the dark side in some way.
Cause fortunately, but unfortunately, my first experience with the dark side and the origins was in the last movie, right? Where whoever her name is, oh, I can't say that.
Rey. Yeah, I remember her name.
I can't say that. That's blasphemous. Alright. I'm gonna be killed by everybody on Twitter now. We said what?
You're misogynist.
So no, it's not that. It's just is like her character. She's a good actor, right? But her character it was just overwhelming in certain areas that didn't make sense to me, because it's like, how did she get so strong so fast when it took Luke so long to get to where he was? You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't, it didn't make sense to me. So I was like, and like there's those action fighting type, like okay, God forbid Sanchi, all of a sudden he knows how to use the rings. I'm just saying. It was like that for me. So anyways, moving forward, she goes into the origins of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
And fights Palpatine, right? Yep. Alongside the other guy who was on the dark side. Yeah, who he was. And I was wondering if during the Star Wars eclipse, if that was the location where all that was going on. You know what I'm saying? And then they're bringing up a new Sith because the Sith Lord died or something. That was going through my head the whole time. It's like, oh, there's a new Sith because there's no more Palpatine. There's no more, dark side. The Force has to be balanced. Is this it? Is this the one? So I was just that was just me, freely thinking, being open-minded about it. But anyways, go ahead, Dio.
I mean, if I was to guess where it takes place, like the dark side part of it, I would probably imagine maybe it takes place on Mustafar. That's like this planet that has like a lot of dark side energy. Like Darth Vader actually makes his castle there in the story. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know for sure, but I would think so. But to get away from that, I guess I kind of want to keep going down that rabbit hole. My second was Warhammer Space Marine 2. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it had like the Gears vibe for some people. They're like, oh, just like, Warhammer copying Gears. But I mean, like, Warhammer is such a gritty and brutal series that doesn't have. I mean, it's definitely getting better games as they come along. But like, oh man, like that game was actually good. And I mean, it's so many years since the last one. I think 10 years or something.
I mean, if they're true to their mechanics, there's no reason why a fan of the game would say anything negative about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to it, you've seen it for the first time, by all means be subjective, but you can't say anything until you play it. And when I saw it, I was like, yo, this looks cool. I can't believe this is a Warhammer game. Because I heard about it, but I've never really played the original one. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, and whether or not who's going to pick it up, because everybody's fighting for dominance right now. We're talking Amazon, Microsoft. Oh man, yeah. PlayStation. Nvidia. You never know where it's going to go. But I'm gonna let you go ahead, sir.
And number 3 was a new IP. Square Enix making it. Babylon's Fall. I don't know if you noticed that one. That one looked pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah.
It looked like, I just have high hopes for it because like it seems like it's one of those games like where you can switch jobs and everything like that. It looked really, pretty.
I think it's a PlayStation and PC exclusive. It's not coming to Xbox.
Really?
Because I got a beta invite, and it told me basically I had to have a PlayStation to play it.
Well, maybe you needed it for the beta, because that happens sometimes.
Okay. But
because like, I mean, even the Strangers of Paradise, their original beta was only for PlayStation, and then it went on to the other platforms.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, there's a definitely possibility. I want to say I saw that it was coming to Xbox also, but I could definitely be wrong. But it's still, regardless, it still looked cool. And then number 4, I don't think I want this to be good, but their history is not, the best, like, because they have winners and they have losers. Sonic Frontier. I'm a sucker. I when I see Sonic, I get so happy.
Good. It looks real good.
Energy comes out. Well, so like when I was looking at it, it kind of like the backgrounds kind of looked like maybe they're using the same engine from Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. And I don't think they have that all figured out yet. So Hopefully, by the time that releases, everything's kind of like settled. And I haven't played New Genesis in a while, so maybe it runs a lot better. But it just kind of reminded me of the engine, how it looked, and I would imagine it would make sense that they would be using that engine. Because I mean, why would you not use it? Because it's probably
Right.
their strongest one at the moment.
As far as open world is concerned, because that's how I see
Correct.
Sonic at this point, is an open world. It doesn't hold your
Yes.
hand. Hopefully, it doesn't hold your hand by forcing you to run in certain areas. You can run whatever you want. That would
Yep.
be awesome. Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do if they're not that I don't want to true open world with Sonic. I do, but I think they're gonna kind of mix it up because they're gonna have to, at least for the levels
Mhm.
where you're kind of like doing your own thing, but you're gonna get kind of like remember Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I think it's gonna kind of plan that style. The only difference between those games will probably be there won't be a hub like how Sonic Adventure 2 was, where you kind of went to this little area to go to that level or whatever. Like you actually be able to run to that level.
Got you. Yeah.
That's what I think they'll do, but I mean we'll have to see. And then if I was gonna go for like a number 5,
Mhm.
this was also new IP from a brand new dev team, Arc Raiders.
I heard that one. That's the
Yeah.
one. When I saw it, it reminded me of not PUBG. Hold on. It kind of felt like Star Wars. The shooting multiplayer shooting joint.
Battlefront.
But it kind of reminded me a little bit of Battlefront until I saw like what the robots looked like. I'm like, yeah, this is not it.
To me, it was like Horizon Zero Dawn, and then like mixed with what was that MMO on the Xbox like years
Defiance.
ago? I mean, yes, like Defiance.
Defiance. I haven't heard about that.
That's what it kind of felt like a mix of those two to me. Obviously with better graphics and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, but hopefully they could do it right because like Defiance was such a cool idea.
Yeah, it was just bland
Concept.
though. It was bland.
Yeah, that was the problem. It was just too bland. Even with the whole TV series I had going on, like it wasn't enough to save it, which is
No.
pretty sad because it was a really cool idea.
It was because the TV series affected the game and the game affected the TV series. Kind of.
Yeah,
It was kind of interesting how they were
and the
doing
top
it.
player was on the season finale. I remember that
Yeah.
too.
That was
so.
interesting.
That was my top 5. There were definitely some other ones that would look cool too, but if I went to 5, that would definitely be it right there.
Okay. Don CJG, what you got?
Man. So, I didn't watch the whole game. I just went for the trailers because I don't have
Truth be
time
told.
watching the Game Awards.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a crazy amount of things that stuck out to me personally. Halo TV show got a trailer for that, so that's cool. But in terms of games, first one, Hellblade 2.
Yes.
It took me a while to play Hellblade 1. I had it installed on my console for months, right? I had it on there for months. I finally played it at one point. I loved it. Great game. So I've been quite excited for Hellblade 2 since, man. And
Yeah.
finally seeing the gameplay trailer. Oh man.
Yes.
It looks
that was
insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see where they're going with that game, what they're doing.
Okay.
Because Hellblade 1 was very kind of very linear. It wasn't create a lot of depth to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think hopefully if they can expand on that with Hellblade 2, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Next one after that is Crossfire X.
Yes. Bro, you calling my list right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, like they were saying this game's supposed to come out this year, like it's close to releasing, and it's like February.
Yeah.
So I did. There was no way that game was going out this year. I called that a long time ago. But yeah, like it's good to see that game actually still alive, quiet for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm certainly curious to see what this game's actually about
Gotcha.
when it's finally released. Man.
Okay.
So I feel like they just
You're breaking up.
overly
Some.
quiet on that. We went to have a conversation about that. Oh no.
Yeah, we need you. We need you to get closer to your Wi-Fi, sir.
We need 100% power.
100% power.
Is that any better or am I still bad?
You good.
Okay. Yeah, Star Wars, I know we had a big conversation about that, but I'm a sucker for a good Star Wars game.
Yes.
You know, especially after game, I can't remember what it's called. The respawn one.
The respawn
That
one? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fallen Order. There you go.
Jedi Fallen
That's
Order.
the one. Yeah. You know, that game was fantastic, and if they're making more single player Star Wars games, I'm all about it.
Let's go.
And other than that, I don't think there was really much else what kind of interested me.
Gotcha.
I'm curious about Sonic, you know, because the first movie got good reception. I still ain't seen it. So if they're making a second one, it must be good enough. So I've already checked it out.
Yo.
But other than that, that's kind of it for me.
Edric. Is it Edric? Alba Edric, whatever his name is. Idris. I gotta say his name right. I'm sorry. Yo, he's playing as Knuckles. That's crazy. Yeah, that's
I remember
crazy.
seeing that review a while back.
And then Tails is in it, and it's just interesting how they're gonna pull this off. It's pretty cool. I wonder if anybody's gonna be calling out stuff like, oh, that person don't look right. The eyes don't look too big enough or small enough. You know how they did the last time.
They learned their lesson after last time.
They definitely learned their lesson.
Yeah, it's giving me like big Sonic Heroes vibes.
Yeah. I as a Sonic fanboy, like I don't want to sound crazy, but I was a little upset that Knuckles got introduced so early because I'm like, that's not how it happened in the game. Like you had Sonic 1 was just Sonic, then Sonic 2 was Sonic Tails.
Yep.
I wait until Sonic 3 to give it. Yeah,
exactly.
Bro, look, they're gonna just Shadow and Sonic 3, bro.
Yo, I'm telling you.
Exactly. That's what they're gonna do. I know.
They're trying to bring. Oh no, but even before Shadow Sonic, there was Meta Sonic, or like Uncle Chuck, right?
Well, that's all, man. There's so many different Sonic universes, like Uncle Chuck and all that stuff. That was like the American cartoon.
Yeah.
That was like in the 90s, which was definitely good. It was definitely fun because you had like Bunny Robot, and you had Antoine, the little wolf guy.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't get acknowledged in the games at all. So that kind of sucks. Yeah.
They wanted to remake the Shadow game, bro.
Sad.
Yeah.
So
I think they're gonna go for whatever sells numbers, you know. Sadly, kids don't like that anymore.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm surprised I didn't see Amy Rose yesterday, honestly, to tell you the truth.
They announced her for but isn't Amy Rose, what does she play as? Isn't she Tails?
No, Amy Rose is the pink hedgehog.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking no, because there was I was thinking of an actual person.
I was thinking of Amber Rose.
Oh yes, exactly. Anyways, so my first one was Star Wars Eclipse, of course. That one was definite. Crossfire X, and I'm glad that they pushed it back, even though I want it so bad, because Call of Duty is not doing its thing, and Battlefield is not doing its thing. You know what I'm saying? So my only hope left was Crossfire X, since Remedy.
Mario didn't even give Halo any credit for the multiplayer.
Yo, I'm sorry, but Halo didn't come out with SWAT. If Halo came out with SWAT in the beginning, I would have jumped on that.
Coming before the end of
I know, but I'm just saying, SWAT, bro. I hate the bubbles. I hate the shields. I want,
Yes, shields are great.
When I got the pistol in the hand and I do the headshot, bro.
You gotta use the AR, bro.
Yo,
Crossfire is gonna have a campaign also, right?
Yeah, it is. I think they're gonna do the same thing.
Remedy.
I think they're the ones that started the free-to-play multiplayer first before Halo, and then Halo went with that route. And the campaign is what you would pay for because it's being produced by Smilegates and by Remedy. So, yeah, man. And then of course I gotta bring up Hellblade 2. Yo, when they announced Hellblade 2 in games, gameplay, like that was legit because I was feeling the realness of the characters, how the world was looking and everything, and it was just Ninja Theory. They always come up and I always bring up the best quality in the game anyway, so I'm looking forward to see more gameplay, more realism. You know what I'm saying? Forget the God rays. Show me the show me the goodness, man. Because I mean, it was the only thing that I did not like is that it didn't show Senua fighting. They just show her throwing the spirits. So it was scripted to me in my mind. It's like everything was just scripted. So, but the fact that the quality of the game was on that level proves how powerful the Xbox is. So, you know, by all means, keep doing your thing. The commercial, yes, a commercial outbeat a game, of course. So it was basically the PR team talking to two guys about Game Pass for PC and switching it to PC Game Pass.
Yeah,
that was funny. It was
pretty funny.
That was funny. Lost Ark being released next year, February, I believe it is, first quarter 2022. Yep. When I played that game on beta, it was definitely awesome because it had some lore to it. It felt like it could be console, but of course it's up to the developers and publishers to make that happen. So it is what it is. And the saddest thing was that Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to Epic Games, right? And not only that, but Square Enix is now making it a priority to enforce. Square Enix is enforcing all their next gen games to be $70 on PC and on console. Yes. So, so one of the things that came about, I got it in my notes here. Let me just scroll down to this. Okay, cool. So they believe that the $70 price for games, or $69.99, it's not a premium, it's the new normal. And that's what they're looking at as that $10 extra being the new normal for game purchases. And so Square Enix is selling Forspoken for $115.95 in Australia, and that's a 17.9% increase in price than just what they're used to paying for. In the UK, that's $64.99, which is 23.2% higher than what they're usually paying for. And as far as euros is concerned, $79.99, which is a 30% increase. Yes, and this is just for Forspoken. This is, they haven't talked about any other game yet. So to see Square Enix pushing this not narrative, but how they want to sell their games, is going to be a hard blow for gamers to swallow if they, want to invest into the company, as far as, Square Enix deals with the Dragon game, Dragon Quest. So any future Dragon Quest, any future Final Fantasy games, any future, I don't know if they still got Hitman going on. I know they were involved with Hitman, but I mean, if they go this route, there's a lot of franchise games that's going to follow this suit, and it's going to be a hard pill to swallow for certain gamers. So I just want to make that clear. What do you guys think?
I think that, at least in my opinion, with Forspoken being the first game they're going to test this with, I think that's kind of a miss because it's a new IP, right? So if people are not really in love with it yet or like the looks of it yet, this is just another reason not to jump on that game from day one. If it was a Final Fantasy game, it would have been way easier to sell with a higher price, because that's something that people are invested in already. So,
it probably would have been even more advantageous for them to try it with 16, right? That would have been a little bit of a smarter move, because it's an established franchise. So, and then people would then praise it for the type of game that it is, and they can show why it's worth $69.99. But Forspoken is a little too new.
That's my opinion anyway.
Wow.
Don was about to say something.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I feel like putting that price tag on a new IP, what no one's even known anything about, really. It's just a bit. I mean, I get it. Look, these, gaming it's become more costly to make a product now, right? It takes a lot more work and time, and I can understand why they want to put the price up, but it's expensive, man.
Yep.
It really is. It's really expensive.
I can say, hey, this is why Game Pass exists, right? For Xbox at least, and the community that's within that ecosystem for, streaming and cloud gaming and whatever. But right now, gaming has become number one around the world as far as entertainment is concerned. So back then, I mean, is it still considered a niche today?
No.
Okay,
I wouldn't say so.
If it's not a niche, can we consider the $70 more of a cash grab I want because, now we have thousands, millions, billions of people playing games than 10 years ago. So we can't keep it $60. We keep it $70. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of I'm not into the economy of finances and global whatever, right? I'm not into it like that. But I can only imagine since Ready Player One, when that movie came out and they showed how serious gaming is to people, right? And how the influx in gaming, AR, VR, and everything like that. Is this a good deal? Is $70 really a good deal? You know what I mean? Is it
No.
Is it really lucrative, or is it something that they're hoping would just stick?
I think they're hoping it's gonna stick, right? Thing is, like, how many people really play all of a game?
True.
And you're paying $70 for all of the game, but some people just play the story. I mean, I know people buy Call of Duty every year. They just play the story mode. That's it. They just play the campaign. And it's insane. I'm sure something like an MMO or something, people who are gonna buy these games are gonna probably put more time into it, just for the nature of what it is, right?
Yeah.
But for the general consumer, I think the 70 is just a bit much, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with that. 'Cause I think you got to look at it like this, right? Like, let's say you're on a budget, and let's be generous that you can only buy one game a month for your entertainment needs, right? If you're looking, like, we're gonna use Square Enix as an example because that's who's we're talking about. If you look at their top, like, I'm not gonna include Final Fantasy 11 and 14 because those are MMOs. Those are always gonna have tons of content, right? So, like, their top 3 games of which takes the longest to beat, their number 1 is Final Fantasy 12, which is a relatively old game. And then after that is Final Fantasy 13, and then Final Fantasy 10. So, and then you have 8 after that. Like, you're not even touching, like, Final Fantasy 15,
Right.
like, in
The
this
newer
list.
stuff.
For a long time in this list. It's like number 16 on the list. So if you're gonna charge more, then you need to also be able to give the content to players that makes it worth more. Not just visual.
It has to also be engaging. It has to be engaging because
For sure.
let's look at your example, Dio. When you saw 15 for the first time and you loaded up on your Xbox and you played it, you like, yo, this is not for me, and then you deleted it. You know what I mean? And then what, 2 to 5 years? I don't know if it's 5 years, but it probably was. But
It might be.
Years later, you look back at it, and the only reason why you even touching 15 is because of 14.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's kind of like, okay, you're gonna put $70 as a price tag, right? Your hope is that your marketing of this game is on point to bring in that money, because people might not buy your $70 game and call it trash, or call it, boring, or call it lackluster. You know what I'm saying? Because of whatever. Square Enix loves changing things up.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point of Final Fantasy in general, right? Like, to change even every single one.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
even if we look at the average hours to complete Final Fantasy 15 is 28 hours on average. When you look at Final Fantasy 12, which is a way older game, it came out on PS2, it's a 60-hour game.
That's crazy.
It's
That's a big difference.
It's 60 plus. Because
it's 60 plus. I'm saying 60 on average just to finish the main campaign. I'm not talking about all the extra stuff, because even you could argue 15 has a lot of extra stuff to do that's past 20 something hours.
Well, that's 60. That 60 is speed running. That's the thing.
Exactly. Well, not speed running, but like it's definitely like staying on the course and doing the campaign.
Right.
Not focusing on any side quests for sure.
Right.
So that's still 3 times the amount of content just in the campaign itself compared to Final Fantasy 15. So that's the problem I have with these newer games, especially when you have companies like Sony and now SquareSoft saying, well, we're going to charge you more, but we're giving you less content. I'm not going to say 16 is the same way. I have pretty high hopes for 16, but it's not here yet to judge, you know? But the core shows that it's getting less and less.
And the thing about it is, what's going to happen is a lot of people will stop buying and start looking at reviews, which we should be anyway, right? Because you're paying with your wallet. You're speaking with the money that you have.
Yep.
To say whether or not it's worth your time and investment. But we're talking about fans who would buy your game day one, falling into that mindset. That's not something you want as a business. You know what I'm saying? Like when Xbox Series X came out, right? Before the X came out, there was all this information about Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S that people were ready to buy day one.
Yep.
If you coming out saying the Xbox Series X is like $1,000, of course nobody's gonna buy that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why do it for a game?
Yeah.
Well, I argue with Dio said earlier. You know, they charge you more for less, and that's what Battlefield did, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're taking away your story. They're giving you a broken multiplayer, and they're still charging you $70 for it.
Yeah.
It's just insane, man. I feel like this is more to cover their costs rather than an incentive for the player. But, oh yeah, look, we're making bigger, better games. They cost more. It's not true. I feel like they're more expensive for them to make, so they're charging more, but you're still getting the same.
Yeah.
So
and then how much is it really for them to how much more is it really when they're using the same engine for this for the past 3 or 4 games? That first initial game, sure, I get it. But as they keep using the same engine and no update, and I think there's a more Bethesda problem, at least for Elder Scroll games. I know this new Elder Scroll coming out is gonna have a new engine, but they used their engine for a long time when it came to Fallout and Elder Scroll games.
But Dio, man, it's hard to make it rain for these guys, man. I'm just saying, if you're using the same engine all the time, that says something. You didn't make the money. You didn't make enough money to bring the engineers to say, hey, physics and shaders and materials, we need to upgrade those. You know what I'm saying? You're more concerned about the studios making another game to fill in that pocket to then. The day that they got purchased from Microsoft was the day they started really looking back at that engine and yeah, we're gonna update this.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say more of it that they can see what they can get away with the player base. Because look at Skyrim, for example. It's the golden example for any game that can be resold over and over and over again, and people would just keep buying it.
That's okay. That's the fault of the gamer, though. That's the gamer's
fault.
For
sure.
If they want better, they gotta tell them, look, you see this $100 bill is gonna be on the table. I want you to look at that $100 bill and know that when you're done with your engine, it's right here for you. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: the gamers don't think on that level on a console perspective.
Well, the average gamer, I would say even PC gamers.
Really? Because I was thinking PC gamers, they've lived a long life in gaming that they know how to say BS to another publisher and be like, look, I'm gonna whack this $100 in your face, or I'm gonna give it to this other game. Remember what you did, Dio? Well, because you guys suck, I'm gonna buy this other game just because you guys did that. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna put that on Twitch and be like, well, my $100 is wasted on this other game that I'm a lot more interested in because such and such and such did something stupid.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
I think it's definitely easier to do that on the PC, right? Because you have more access to forums and other places where you can voice your opinion.
Yeah.
But at least also on Xbox you can do that too. Because my understanding is on the PlayStation Store you can't put down a review of the game or give a score to it, which is a weird thing because I can't even picture not having that ability.
Gotcha.
But I think at the end of the day, it really does fall on to the consumer. You know, like, are they willing to voice their opinions? It's definitely easier on the PC, but I think the Xbox gives the tools there, is whether people are going to use them or not. But if you go in the Xbox store and you read the reviews of certain games, it's definitely a fun time.
But they're review bombing, man.
Ain't that the truth?
They're review bombing. They buy the game and then they ask for a refund just to put down negative reviews on a game they haven't played.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Speaking of review bombs, they review bomb Halo.
Okay. All right, we're done with Halo.
Did
We done with Halo. Yeah, they did. They tried. they tried.
What?
They tried.
User score, bro. They tried attacking it.
They tried, but you can only bomb a game for so long until the consumers actually play and then decide for themselves. Because Microsoft have been pushing Halo forever for this past 6 months in marketing, right?
Yeah.
Become the Master Chief, become Halo Infinite. I mean, that speaks more than somebody putting a review on Metacritic when everybody else is saying Metacritic is garbage anyway. You go on Twitter Spaces, it's like, why are you looking at the trash? You know what I mean? So, but anyways, speaking of Sony acquires Valkyrie Entertainment.
Oh.
Who's that?
I would like to tell you who it is, but even myself, I only seen the game that they've made. But
Is that a game I would have heard of?
there are a studio that assisted in the God of War game that was released before. They one of the games that they made was Guns Up, a side-scrolling game. They assisted Riot Games with League of Legends, Valorant, and Legends of Runeterra. And they also helped with the Forza Motorsport franchise. So,
Okay, I've heard of a few of those.
So Sony purchased them and added them to the family, PlayStation Studios. So I just wanted to throw that out there so you guys, when you guys hear it, you heard it first. Well, you didn't hear it first. Well, yeah, you did hear it. You just didn't read it first someplace else. But you heard it first. Here we go.
That's interesting.
So Activision Blizzard. I'm reading this title because it's coming from PCGamer.com. Activision Blizzard reacts to unionization talks with anti-unionization talks. Here's what they says.
Okay.
As you may have seen yesterday, there was a communication support by the Communications Workers of America, CWA, that asks employees to sign and submit union authorization cards. The message says, I want to be clear about this. The leadership of Activision Blizzard supports your rights under the National Labor Relations Act to make your own decisions about whether or not to join a union. As you make this decision for your future, we ask only that you take time to consider the consequences of your signature on the binding legal document presented to you by CWA. Once you sign the document, you will have signed over to CWA exclusive rights to represent you for the purpose of collective bargaining concerning all terms and conditions of employment. This means your ability to negotiate all your own working conditions will be turned over to CWA, just as the document says. Workplace culture aspirations is better achieved through a dialogue between management and employees, not the CWA. If we fail to achieve workplace goals we have set forth, if we fail to do things we've committed to doing, then of course you still always have the right to engage with and vote for CWA. But we are confident that we will make the progress we've previously pledged to make and create a workplace with you that we can all be proud of. Okay, so that was Activision basically pleading to the employees saying, hey, we understand you want to be unionized. Please note, if you unionize, you're giving away your rights of how you want to voice your employment to be. via the CWA. That's how I'm translating this.
Yeah.
CWA responded. Instead of responding to the workers' concerns, they've opted to blast the most tired anti-union talks point straight from the union busting script. Union avoidance campaigns waste resources that ABK management could otherwise be using to address serious concerns such as compensating the victims of sexual harassment. We hope management will come to its senses and see that their only viable path forward is to meet the righteous demands from the initial workout, including ensuring there is a lasting worker voice in all company matters. Lastly, before we get into the conversation, we spoke about what was it called? Raven, the employees and Activision, the testers. Yeah. There is a GoFundMe for Ravensoft employees who walked out, basically because, not walked out, they were fired pretty much. They were let go.
Yeah.
Right now it's sitting at $250,000 and growing, that GoFundMe campaign for those employees. And that's what the community has done for them. What do you guys think so far, based on what you heard?
There's a lot of taken. But yeah, no, I think, that GoFundMe in particular, that stands out a lot.
Yeah.
250,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's $250,000, right?
But I think it was 12 employees or testers. I believe it was 12.
Yeah, those QA guys, right?
Yeah.
And I think it really says a lot, right? Because that whole situation where these guys literally just got fired right before Christmas.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous, right? It's crazy. And this whole Activision debacle has been going on for so long now.
Yeah.
I think, from my I take away that letter from Activision to the employees, basically saying, "This is your ultimatum, right? don't sign the union, or we're gonna start coming after you." That's what it feels like to me.
See, I don't know. I don't think they'll start coming after you. They've already been burned, right? So it's kind of like their last hope that employees will stay loyal to Activision, because if everybody
Who's
signs,
staying loyal to the company? Who are these people?
I'm sorry.
I don't know who's staying loyal to this company. Like,
I understand, but what I'm saying is, if
I get
they
you.
if they sign, Activision no longer has power to do anything at this point with their employees. And
I think that's probably for the better at this point.
It's almost like it's almost as though Activision employed a agency who employed the employees. So now Activision and this agency has to speak, right? It's almost like you went to jail, right? Oh, not jail. You went to you've been brought into the police office or whatever, and the police officer is talking to you, right? And let's say the police officer is Activision, and you're the employee, Don CJG, and Dio.
CWA is like the lawyer, right?
And CWA is the lawyer, which is Dio. And so Don CJG is like, look, at this point, I don't care what you gotta say. Talk to my boy Dio. He's to my left. And Dio's like, okay, Mr. Officer. Let's get this down and write because I'm not understanding exactly what you're asking for. This don't make sense to me. And then Don CJG is spinning in his chair, eating a popsicle. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if this happens, this is what I picture happening is basically CWA and Activision is basically companies who's speaking on the behalf of the employees, what can and can't happen and this and that. And that looks bad for Activision because it proves that they don't know how to handle their own workers. Thus, should they continue to be a company, you know what I'm saying, at this point. So it is what it is. That's what I got from it. But
should they continue to be? No. Will they? Most likely, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they have enough franchise, so either they sell it.
A company like that doesn't just go away overnight,
they have to sell it, right? If they don't want to continue doing business, or they rebrand themselves.
God, imagine the pitching for Call of Duty.
What do you think, Dio?
I just look at it like this, where they're not completely wrong with what they're saying about their employees losing their rights if they go with a union. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're trading one person in power over another person in power, right?
Right.
Because unions can be just as bad. But you've already proven yourself incapable. And I don't think every company and every every workspace within a company needs a union. But because they have all this crap, and you would think with this, just the sexual harassment stuff alone, they wouldn't be ballsy enough to do something this stupid, like with firing people right before Christmas, just because they're in their eyes non-essential. Not even for misconduct or anything like that. Just these are non-essential people. Whether or not that's standard business practice in gaming, like for like the past 10 years or whatever amount of years. With the telescope and the microscope both on you, people spying on you and people looking through every little thing. Like, you don't want any more attention, so why would you even do this? So of course no one's gonna side with them. It's such a stupid move.
Yeah.
And other companies definitely need to take note of this because it's gonna come for them eventually.
Well,
Bungie had that whole thing.
Here's the thing.
They did.
Yeah, because Bungie bit the bullet. I think they bit the bullet a little too early when they connected with Activision to make Destiny. Bungie CEO apologizes following in-depth report into sexism and toxicity at the studio. Now, Don CJG, you jumped ahead of me, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, well, this is it, right? This statement came out, I think it was yesterday. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw like Bungie trending. I was like, Bungie's trending, yeah, okay, probably some Destiny stuff, right? Said the whole anniversary and no. Right? I'm like, statement from the Bungie CEO. I'm like, okay, this is never good.
This is not good at all.
When you get a statement from the CEO on a random Friday evening, it's not a good sign. But yeah, you got. I don't want to say it's an Activision scenario. I feel like it's not to that level, but I feel like
I got news for you, Don CJG.
It's the beginning of.
I got news for you.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So IGN did a report in September, right? So I'm gonna read this to you. Here we go. Interviews with 26 current and former employees reveal a culture of rife with overt sexism and boy culture, club culture, heavy crunch, and protection of abusers. Members of Bungie narrative team, that's one aspect of it, right? That's with IGN. They did a report of 26 current and former employees who talked about those things. The second part was there was a situation where, then this is a crunch time, where Bungie is telling the narrative team, right? And I read this. Members of Bungie's narrative team would sometimes work up to 100 hours a week during some expansions. According to the report, while requests for more full-time team members were repeatedly denied. When Bungie told the narrative team not to crunch because the studio was trying to eliminate the practice, some writers continue and simply did not report overtime in order to avoid having features cut. So they were believing in the game even when they were told not to push themselves. Multiple interviewees also complained about Bungie's HR department. Here we go, Activision. And one long-serving employee in particular, which appeared more inclined to protect abusers than to address their abuses. It is a well-known fact. If you talk to HR, you're putting your own job on the line, one employee said. HR has never been there to protect employees. They're always there to protect the company. I've watched it happen a few times at Bungie, where someone went to HR and things went completely sideways for them. So obviously to me, once this is how I see it. Bungie left Microsoft. Bungie went to Activision to create Destiny alongside with PlayStation. Bungie adapted the Activision Blizzard, culture into their own, and now they're reaping the rewards of it. Because now they're under fire. I can't say they're no different, but now it's Bungie, Ubisoft, and Activision. it kind of sucks because here's the next thing. Once Halo Infinite went live, Bungie as a game left Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely went out, man.
It is crazy. It is crazy what's going on. So, whew. Guys, if you don't have anything left to say, yo, this is it.
Spider-Man movie next week.
That is
There
cool. You
that's what I got.
Yo, that's it.
I'm surprised we didn't talk about those Ubisoft NFTs.
Ooh.
You want to go down the rabbit hole?
What?
You didn't hear about that?
Nah,
Yeah.
bruh.
Oh no.
Bruh, nah.
So-
What's up with that?
So Ubisoft, I think this is such a weird move. I honestly don't see anything wrong with it, but it got a huge bad reception.
Mm-hmm.
They want to add NFTs to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I found to be a pretty weird move. I mean, not that the game is bad or anything, just that it's a relatively old game for something like this. In my opinion, you know, like you think you would launch this with something that was more of a live service kind of game. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's too risky. That's why they're like, let's test it on our dead game.
Sure, I could see that too, but then at the same time, it's like, who would want to buy the NFT, right? Like, but their argument for the NFT is that you would be able to use it within like pretty much, even if you buy it for Breakpoint, you would be able to use it in like all your Ubisoft games and supposedly maybe even other games that allow it. So I think it's a cool concept. I don't really think that there's really, and I'm usually someone who hates microtransactions, right, and like cosmetics and all that kind of stuff, but I don't see anything inherently wrong with this. I think most people were mad about it just because it's Ubisoft, right? Because I mean, when you look at Steam gives you stuff like this pretty much when it comes to like skins and everything. I mean, they've been around for years, you know. So I don't understand the hate.
I think because it's Ubisoft, one, and two, it could be something shady going on behind it, because I could understand NFT for the skins and audio and digital media as it relates to games, right? But the NFT in itself, is it widely acceptable, or is it just Ubisoft? If Ubisoft crashes and burns, does that NFT crash and burn too? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
like,
it could be anything digital for sure.
You know what I mean?
But like to me, like even like Fortnite, right? Like even though these are not NFTs, these are just cosmetic costumes. People spend money all the time on Fortnite costumes, right? Like they'll drop $20 on like Master Chief or Kratos or whatever it is that they're into,
right,
with no problem. Where with this, you're actually, I'm not saying it's something of value because I don't want to misrepresent anything or make people think that it's a good investment, but it's something that has more value comparatively to things like that, because there's actually a serial number associated with it, like almost like a digital Pokemon card, if you want to look at it like that. So I don't see anything. So I don't see anything inherently really wrong with it when you look at it with microtransactions. If anything, this is a step up from your traditional microtransaction cosmetic. But I think like the dislike ratio was something like 96%, where like only 1K people liked it, and then like 32K people disliked it, so that they took it out of YouTube like really quick.
Yeah, they took the video offline, bro.
The only thing I can really say about it is how the NFT, the purchase of that NFT, because they're still getting a percentage off of every purchase.
Correct.
This NFT. So if they can guarantee some form of ownership, right? Because you still, I mean, okay, let's put it this way. All right, you buy a song. The song is an NFT, right?
Yep.
And there's a percentage that goes to the owner who made it the NFT, and then you have rights to own it.
Correct.
But with the NFT, you can also resell the NFT, and the owner still has part payment. You get payment, and then somebody else owns a copy of the NFT. So I could be thinking too deeply into this, but we're talking about a major corporation, not just any Joe Blow who goes to an app and creates an NFT of a moving guy, right? whatever. These guys have the ability to restrict what you can and can't do with an NFT. You know what I mean?
That's what they were advertising. They were advertising that you would be able to sell teas and make a profit off of them.
They told me that I would have a game, right, and it's gonna be pristine, but then my face is missing.
I mean, like I said, I don't think NFTs are a good investment in the long run. I mean, like if you're gonna invest in the NFTs, is basically like investing in Pokemon cards, but at least with Pokemon cards, and this is still not like an endorsement for Pokemon cards, but at least they're physical, and you don't have to worry about them being deleted or being digitally stolen or any of that kind of nonsense. But I don't know. Like to me, I still think it was just a whole, Ubisoft issue. But I do think the most interesting thing about it, because I didn't think it would work. Ever since they took the dislike, well, I mean, you can still dislike videos, but they don't let you see how many dislikes are there. I thought that was really gonna be kind of something that, these companies would use to their advantage, right? Like if people can't see the dislike ratio, then who's really gonna care, right? Because at that moment you got to look through the comments. But apparently it still hurt them enough that they still took the video down.
I think they're just trying to prevent it going any further. They're like, okay, bad reception. Let's get it offline for it.
Oh, for sure.
It snowballs.
But you would think that if there's no repercussion, because like if someone's stupid enough to look at a video and see like, oh, it has 1K likes, this must be something people like, because they can't see the dislikes at that point. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I found it interesting that it's still disliking still does something, and that makes me happy to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's for me, man, with the whole NFT thing. Like, I don't need my game to be economized. I just want it to be a game.
Yeah.
like why are we bringing financial economy of NFTs into Ghost Recon? Come on, man.
The only game I can see really benefiting from something like an NFT, like you mentioned Pokemon, and I think like Temtem, because Temtem is still something pretty new. It's an old game, definitely. Probably 2 years, maybe 3. But
it's like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but it's still new enough to experiment with those things and not be held, not to be blasted like these other companies or games. You know what I mean? Where if they do it right, they can become the trendsetter for how even PvP is done.
I think Fortnite is probably going to be the first one to get it right, or Roblox, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
If I was to think about it in that respect, just because like people literally sell accounts now of Fortnite because like, oh, this guy's been playing since season 1 and he has these rare skins from back then. So like they're not true NFTs, but people are treating them like that because they want to see that big collection of items.
We can go even deeper and say gamer tags.
Oh God. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely people who want specific gamer tags. 100%.
I'll buy the Don CJG joint, man. Take all his experience, his Xbox experience away, son. Yo, how much you want for that? How much you want? I got Ethereum ready. Let's go.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yo, I think we're giving away too much information. We always give away too many information, right?
Like the Metaverse podcast?
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
we can sell our own Metaverse NFTs Ebonics for the podcast merch.
Dude, we just have to have a completely different podcast for like Metaverse and cryptocurrency and stuff. It just gotta be completely different.
What would be your avatar in the Metaverse, Max?
Dude, I wouldn't. There is this thing that Snapchat got going on where they can digitize your body, right? So if I can take that and put that into Metaverse, I'll be the only one that looks human in the museum, the Xbox account. Like, yo, you got no face, no body, son. Like, look, yeah, son. You know what I mean? I'm tripping.
Dude, I'd be Mr. Blobby.
Oh yeah, You what was his name?
He's a legend.
What's the guy's name? Gosh, Mr. somebody.
Mr. Blobby?
No, not him. The other guy, the other British guy. He never speaks. He's never speaks.
Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean. I can see you being Mr. Bean. Yes. and your punch buggy.
It's not a bad shout, yeah. It's not a bad shout.
Yeah, Mr. Bean is a man. That's a funny ass TV show, and the movie wasn't that bad either.
Mr. Bean's a legend.
Yeah, I think he was like legit, like knighted, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, guys. If you know, I don't know what to say, man. We had a in-depth
episode
conversation.
of the Mr. Bean podcast done.
Bro, we're moving forward. Anyways, this is the Digital Cypha Podcast, guys. If you liked and enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe. You know, we talked about a lot of things. You know, we got into Halo, we got into the Game Awards 2021, which, you know, Don has dubbed, you know, the epic game show. Because that's who has been, you know, pushing this the whole time through, as far as we're concerned. We got into some Sony, we got into some Activision, we got into some Bungie. But this is it. This is it's 11:15. And we thank you guys for enjoying the show with us. We're here every Saturday, 10 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, and that is 3.
I
did. Okay, cool.
3.
3.
He like just fell into the water.
Yes.
He was like, "Is it cold?"
I was
over
like,
there?"
no, it's fine.
He's like, Don would just lie to me and say, yeah, that's right. Go ahead. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 3 p.m. UK time. Again, this is Ebonics, Don CJG, and Dio Zales. Wishing you guys a happy weekend. Enjoy the Halo Infinite and just enjoy gaming. Peace.
See you in the Matrix.
Thanks, guys.